Broncos country, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Sean Payton had some glowing words and confidence instilled in Troy Franklin this week at OTAs. And I think that there's an opportunity for him to break out this year in 2025. I'm going to dive into the reasons why I believe that is. We'll go through some film as well. Of course, guys, let me know what you think. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. But let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to bring up with Troy Franklin about something that I think he did really, really well is he separated incredibly well, especially for a rookie last year. This is a credit to Player Profiler here. In terms of the production that he had this year, 28 receptions, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he also had a 50-yard touchdown, course, in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. But take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this. Target separation was essentially at 2 yards. It was 1.98. That was good enough for 12th in the NFL. He had the 12th most yards of separation per target in the NFL. And I did want to also bring this up, even though he was kind of a part-time player for us throughout a lot of the season. One other thing that I did think was great, of course, you got to utilize his 4.4 speed. 25th in the NFL in deep targets being a rookie. 18. He averaged over 1 deep target per game. That is substantial. And I think you're going to see Troy Franklin continue to get better at those longer developing routes. And I don't think that he was as bad as maybe he was made out to be at certain points, but nonetheless inconsistent. I did want to show this as well in terms of just yards of separation, just being out there on the field per route, not per target. I find this interesting. Marvin Mims is here first at 5.2 yards per separation. I've talked about that before. And then when you work your way down the list, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Troy Franklin is 8th out of the entire NFL when it comes to wide receivers for yards of separation per route at 3.8. He was definitely getting open. And when you just take a look at how he was utilized as well, this is thanks to PFF. You can see here, 10 targets down to the outside left, 4 targets down in the middle between the number deep. And then you see him utilized a little bit over the middle here, 3 targets over the middle in the intermediate areas, and then, on some out stuff. But I think where we want to see Troy Franklin really developing, in my opinion, is we definitely want to see him developing more so with those in-breaking routes. We saw him, I think he ran, mesh type of routes really well last year, found open spots in the zone, but we want to see those longer developing in-breaking routes him get stronger at, those longer post routes or, longer slants, really just slants in general, fighting through a little bit of the contact, getting separation off the line. I think that he has shown potential to become a really, really good route runner. So let's go ahead and just dive into the film. I think you guys will find this pretty interesting. So we'll hop around here with a few clips. Hopefully this isn't dinged for copyright. This is week 2 here. You can see Troy Franklin down the bottom of the bunch, and just finding big time open hole in the zone. Now, Bo, maybe he needs to anticipate this a little bit quicker when this is thrown. But I mean, look at this. Great play by 23. Keeps his eyes on the quarterback and jumps in and makes a really good play. But this is, I thought, a really good route here from Troy Franklin, just getting open. Now, Bo, he had a fantastic year last year, but there were times in which he was inaccurate, and Troy Franklin brought in, a handful of those targets, some more of these longer developing routes. See Troy Franklin actually lined up here in the slot. just getting open easily, coming back to the ball. Really love that. You'll see him, the left of the screen. And this is what I'm expecting to be a touchdown in year 2, where Bo Nix and Troy Franklin, they just didn't have that chemistry down the field, which was strange to see, but he does such a good job at flying past that DB. It's just overthrown. Maybe you don't want Troy to turn his head, keep his head turned after he, maybe he should realize that it's going to be long, but I do think we all know this, that Troy Franklin needs to improve his ball tracking. But from a separation standpoint, I mean, you got to be encouraged seeing this. This was a nice inbreaker that I love to see. Again, Troy just getting open throughout that zone. We'll watch it again at the bottom. And run this little post route. You can see linebackers, all the DBs are kind of playing a shell coverage, zone coverage, and I love to see the fight after the catch through the contact. Catches it with his hands, not his body. Gets up, turns his head upfield very quickly. Then we'll see Troy lined up outside to the right. And yeah, this is one that you want to see him come down with. Some of that contested catch rate, we want to see him to continue improving on. That's one that we need him to catch here in 2025. And dealing with some press, the bottom of the screen gets off of it. And this one is just thrown slightly outside the arms of Troy Franklin by Bo Nix. Again, this is something that I'm expecting both of them to be better on the same page with each other this next season. But I thought he did a good job of getting off the line. That's something that I think we're going to see more of, but successful pitch and catch right there between Bo Nix. All right. See Troy up here. Look how he gets off of coverage, showing that separation ability. Again, you can see the 2 yards of separation plus right there on that route. Ran that really well, understood his leverage, where he was going. Baited number 3, Derwin James, just fantastically. And we'll take a look at one more clip with Baltimore. You can see him down there at the bottom, getting off coverage from Marlon Humphrey really well. This is what I'm expecting to see more of from Troy Franklin this year. Boom. Just a coverage beater. That's what he is. And then lastly, we can take a look at this play later on in the season against the Chargers. 3rd and 1 right here, beginning the third quarter. Yeah, I was just talking about how, run some of that mesh stuff. Love to see that. Getting his head turned upfield very quickly after he catches, navigates the mesh well, catches with his hands, and then has, another 10 yards plus of yak. And so, Troy Franklin, 200 yards or so this past year, rookie season. But again, I want to summarize some of the biggest things. 11 or 1.98 yards of separation per target, almost 4 yards of separation per route, 25th in the NFL in overall deep targets. It's only going to become more successful this year when Bo Nix and Troy Franklin demonstrate better timing on these deeper, longer developing routes. He can get open downfield, and he's got a battle for his roster spot this year. It's a very competitive group with a lot of promising young players, but if he can take a leap in putting things together just a little bit more, especially with those downfield, those in-breaking routes. I think you're going to see Troy Franklin be talked about as one of the guys that we need to keep around with Bo Nix past his rookie contract. So y'all let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe as well. Go Broncos.